All right, 15.3, making double bar graphs. You learned how to read double bar graphs in the last lesson. Today what we're going to do is take some of that data that we had from our Google form on favorite genres, and you can get to that right here. Just click on the smiley face. That's going to bring up the form. You may have to organize some of that raw data, boy, girl, the different genres, for constructing your bar graph. Before we get to that, though, let's go ahead and review the basics of the double bar graph and also some tips on how to plan it out. I think when you actually construct your bar graph or put it together, that's actually the easy part. When you're doing graphs by hand, there's a lot of pre-planning that has to be done. That's pretty much the thinking part. So when you're looking at your graph paper, you kind of need to look at your data. And you look at what the largest amount is in your data, boy or girl, whatever the genre is, and you have to calculate out what that scale is going to be over on this side here. So you're going to count up some blocks, count all the way up to the blocks, figure out what you think your interval is going to be, so your bars will pretty much stretch within that range there, not too low. You know, all your bars being down below this line here. So kind of plan that out. You may have to actually extend your line up on your axis so it goes up a little bit further to accommodate that. So in my sloppy handwriting, I basically have set every 3 blocks to equal 1 student. So you'll set your scale to whatever it is. I don't know what the data is. You guys haven't done the survey yet as of recording. Then you want to make sure that you have a label over here that represents what that is. You'll have a label down here that's going to talk about what is on the x-axis, which will be the genres. Again, you'll want to count out down here your blocks to figure out how many spaces you're going to want to need to do. You give a little buffer zone there, and you'll have 1 bar that's going to go like that, maybe 2 or maybe 3 blocks wide. Then the other one will be the same. Yours is going to be much neater than mine. Spacing is going to be even between the numbers. Oh my goodness, mine's a mess. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Yours is going to look much neater than mine. So you have your bars. Also make sure that you throw a title up here, and then also you're going to need to put a neat little key over here. You're going to use colors. Let's go ahead and see if I can throw a little bit of color on here. We'll have, like, just make sure that you color blue for the boys or whatever you want. Then another color for the girls. That will all be labeled up in here, what's what. And we'll go ahead and take a look at these, compare graphs, and go from there with that. So good luck with that. And we'll go ahead and start moving into using the computers to make graphs much, much easier. But you need to know how to do this by hand. So to recap, and you may want to rewind to this point right here, make sure your graph has labels for your x and y. Your intervals on your scale are even. Your bars are appropriately spaced in here. You have a key that's over here. You have your labels for your genres here, and a title. And I guess we'll look at your graphs and you tomorrow. No Google form to fill out tonight, so if you forgot to bring that piece of graph paper home, here's a link to a PDF of one. If you don't have a printer, you'll just have to get this done first thing in the morning when you get in after morning work. We'll see you then.